Colorado High School Activities Association baseball is on B106 and B106.com. This afternoon from Legion Field in Fort Morgan, it is a Tri-Valley clash between the Fort Morgan Mustangs and the Skyline Falcons. Good afternoon. This is Brian Nickel here at Legion Field. The Fort Morgan Mustangs come in 10-7 overall, 6-5 in league. They dropped one to Holy Family earlier in the week, 8-1. Skyline comes in 7-9 overall, 4-7 in league play. As far as standings in the Tri-Valley, Windsor comes in first at 10-1. They're in 5A. Holy Family is at 9-1. Roosevelt is at 9-5. Fort Morgan is at 6-5. Erie 5-7. Skyline 4-7. Berthoud 4-7. Meade 2-3, and Frederick is 0-10 in league play. The Fort Morgan Mustangs will play Skyline again on Saturday. That will be at Skyline, and that will be an 11 o'clock start here on B106 and B106.com. As far as the rest of the schedule for the Mustangs, they will play at Stanley Lake on Monday. That is a 4 o'clock start. And then at Holy Family, Wednesday the 8th. That's a 4 o'clock start here on B106 and B106.com. As is Bertha. That will be here a week from today at 4 o'clock. And then the season will end a week from Saturday on the 11th. And that will be at Berthoud. And that will be an 11 o'clock start here on B106 and B106.com. Starting today, starting pitches for the Fort Morgan Mustangs will be Jacob Ortega. Jacob on the year is at 4.03 with a 5-1 record. 41.2 innings pitched. He's given up 44 hits, 20 walks, and 27 strikeouts. As for Skyline, their pitcher is going to be McGregor. If I can get a first name for him. But McGregor his record is 4-1 with a 3.86 ERA. 32.2 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 37 hits. Nate McGregor is his name. Head coaches are for the Falcons is Travis Schlegel, and for your Fort Morgan Mustangs, the head coach is Josh Langford. Starting lineups here today for the Fort Morgan Mustangs in the field defensively is J.P. Hamer will be in center field. Jacob Ortega pitching. Isaac Linker at short. Alex Ortega in right field. Javier Briqueta in left field. Nick Norris at first. Connor Fajardo catching. Austin Apple is at third, and Nick Beltran is at second base. And Jacob Ortega with the first pitch, and that misses outside. For ball one, the opening pitch is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. And the pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance in Brush and Fort Morgan. So Jacob with the pitch, and that's right in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike for Jacob Ortega. Graydon Bridwell, center fielder, is at the plate, and that catches the inside part of the plate. Nice pitch there by Ortega. Puts the count now at 2-2. Graydon Bridwell is a center fielder. He'll be followed by Braden Elwood, the catcher. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit between third and short for a base hit. So a nice job there by Bridwell to start it off for the Skyline Falcons. That will bring up Braden Elwood, followed by Juan Shapiro. So 1 up and 1 hit here so far for the Skyline Falcons. checks the runner, and that's going to get by. That's going to be a wild pitch, as that sends Bridwell to second. So not a good start here right now for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to center field, short center field. Like J.P. Hamer coming in, and he comes down with it. Nice catch out there in short center field. No chance for the runner at second to take off. So 1 out here now as the left-handed batter comes in, Juan Shapiro, first baseman for Skyline. Jacob checks his runner out at second. And the pitch, and that's going to be outside for ball 1. That fastball stayed out. Have a wind this afternoon blowing from right to left. Overcast skies. Jacob checks the runner. And the pitch, and that's going to be a hard hit ball out to left field. And it's going to get past Alex Ortega on to second. So that will bring in the run. So we're going to give him a single. And an error on Alex out in right field. He let that one get by him. So a runner at second with 1 out. That will bring up Will Drews, third baseman. That was a hard hit ball, but should have been kept in front of him. And that pitch is going to be low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Will Drews. Jacob checks his runner out at second and comes home, and that curveball stays high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Nate McGregor on deck. And the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss, but the ball gets by Fajardo. So that will be a pass ball on Fajardo. Shapiro goes over to second base. Or third base, excuse me, and that's a swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I believe that is a called strike 3. So 2 up or 2 out now here. Here in the top of the first. So we'll see if the Mustangs can get out of this with minimal damage. And that pitch is outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. One to nothing Skyline. That pitch is in there for a strike. That fastball hits the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And the pitch. And that's low and in the dirt to Nate McGregor, the pitcher. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out of play off to the right. B&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you. Check them out on Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that was a good stop there outside, but a good stop by Fajardo. So now 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 Falcons. And that is going to be fouled at the plate. The count remains at 3-2. To the number 5 hitter, the pitcher, Nate McGregor. Jacob with the pitch, and that's going to be hit foul down the third baseline. So 21 pitches here so far in this first inning for Jacob Ortega, 9 balls and 12 strikes. So Jacob looks into Fajardo for the sign. And the delivery, and that curveball is going to be hit out to center field, out to Hamer, and that will retire the side on that fly out to Hamer. So in the top of the first, Skyline gets 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of the first here on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field, still warming up the pitcher. But for the Mustangs, batting order goes like this. J.P. Hamer will lead it off. He plays center field. Jacob Ortega bats second. He's pitching. Isaac Linker, shortstop, is batting third. Alex Ortega, right fielder, is batting fourth. Javier Becerra, left field, batting fifth. Nick Norris at first, batting sixth. Connor Fajardo, catching, is batting seventh. Batting eighth is Austin Apple at third base. And Nick Beltran is batting ninth. He will play second base. And for Skyline, defensively, Graydon Bridwell at center field, Braden Elwood in center, Juan Shapiro at first. Will Drews is at third. Nate McGregor is pitching. Ethan Drews is right field. Wynn Drews is shortstop, and Patrick Chavez is at second base. And in center field is Lucas Scott. So the first pitch is going to be up high, ball 1. The opening pitch is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. The opening pitch here in the bottom of the first. And the pitch, and that's going to be a hard hit ball out to the left center field. And that ball is going to be gone. Home run for J.P. Hamer. The first pitch he sees goes out over the left center field fence to tie this up here early at 1-1. So J.P. Hamer with his fifth home run of the year, he does lead the Tri-Valley League in home runs. That will be at 5. So 1-1, 1 pitch, 1 run. So Jacob Ortega at the plate and the pitch, and that's going to be low and in the dirt. Ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. To the Mustangs pitcher, Jacob Ortega. Isaac Linker on deck, and the pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt also. The pitcher that's a hard hit ball right to the pitcher. Nice snag there by McGregor. So out at first on the ground out is Jacob Ortega, so that will bring up Isaac Linker. Linker playing shortstop today for the Mustangs. He is batting at .296 as he stands in from the right side. And the pitch by McGregor, and that curveball misses up. 1 ball and no strikes. To the third place hitter, Isaac Linker. And the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Across the plate at the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, but also 1 home run by J.P. Hamers. He led off the bottom of the inning. And that pitch misses low and outside for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. The first Fort Morgan run of the game is brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. And the pitch. And that's in there for strike 2. Cargill Meat Solutions works with the community to make sure there are jobs for the members of the communities they're in. So Linker 2-2, and that's hits the dirt for ball 3. Scoots by the catcher back to the fence. So Linker ahead in the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nate McGregor on the hill for Skyline in the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to center field, left center, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Nice job by Isaac Linker to put that, get that ball in play. That was just kind of a looper out there between right and center. It's now Alex Ortega, the right fielder, up for the Mustangs. Alex is batting at an even 300. Linker takes his lead, and that's going to be a big swing and a miss by Alex. He was trying to keep up with Hamer there on the home runs. But McGregor checks Isaac Linker over at first. Linker not too big of a lead, and Linker's going to take off. He comes back. That was close. He got back in under the tag from the catcher. Linker had taken a few steps and then stopped and came back. So now no balls and 2 strikes to Alex Ortega. But Linker does have 3 stolen bases on the year. And the pitch, and that's going to be outside. Tried to see if Alex would go after that outside pitch, and he did not. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. With Linker on at first after his bloop single out to right center. Now he's going to take off, pitch out, and they're going to say he missed the tag and ends up sliding in. He kind of popped up and went up and over the tag out there. So Linker now at second after the stolen base. I believe it's 1 and 2. And the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Alex Ortega. So Javier Becerra up at the plate. Left fielder for the Mustangs. He's batting at .423. Linker with his lead out at second, and the pitch, and that ball is in the dirt. Nice stop there by Braden Elwood, as he kept that ball in front of him to keep Linker from advancing to third. So 1 ball, no strikes. Now 1 ball and 1 strike, because that's fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. The Mustangs did tie it here in the bottom of the first, with the leadoff hitter J.P. Hamer homering to left field, and that pitch is in there for a strike. Catches the knees on the outside part of the plate. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nick Norris on deck for the Mustangs. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit fair. Oh, they called a foul ball. It looked like it was fair, but just foul down the first baseline. That would have brought Linker in, and Becerra would have probably been at least at second. That was just outside the bag at first. So McGregor head in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled back. Count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Equitable Savings and Loan, mobile banking on the go, makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Check it out today. McGregor checks his runner, now the pitch, and that's going to be a wild pitch. Linker will get to third. So 90 feet closer is Linker now. Javier Becerra evens out the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. As he awaits the pitch from Nate McGregor. And the pitch, and that is just upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So here's the payoff pitch coming up from McGregor. As he looks in, and the pitch, and that is outside for the walk. Now Nick Norris comes up to the plate. Norris is batting at .342 on the year, 2 home runs. So now our runners at the corners. Biquera at first and Linker at third. As the catcher steps out in front of the plate, gives some defensive signals. Norris bats in from the right side. And he awaits the pitch, and here it is, and that's going to be low. Ball 1 ball and no strikes. To the number 6 hitter, Nick Norris. Connor Fajardo on deck, Austin Apple in the hole. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off out of play to the right. That evens the count now at 1 ball, 1 strike. To the junior Nick Norris, first baseman. McGregor checks the runner over at first. And the pitch, and that's going to be outside. And going to be a steal by Biquera. As it was a delayed steal. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Norris. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Norris. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. McGregor evens up the count. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to the shortstop. Big hop for the shortstop, and over at first and out will be Nick Norris. But in the bottom of the first inning, the Mustangs tied up with 1 run. They get 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We'll go to the top of the second with the score tied at 1 here on B106 and B106.com. Here in the top of the second inning, Lucas Scott leads off. First pitch to him is a strike. So no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit out. Going to be out over the outstretched arms of Isaac Linker. Just hit it where they weren't. That was just a little Texas leaguer over the head of Isaac Linker. So Lucas Scott reaches on first, and now up is Ethan Drews, the right fielder. Jacob Ortega going to step off. Not much of a lead over there for Scott. Ortega checks him in the delivery, and that is going to be low. Nice stop by Fajardo. 1 ball, no strikes, no out here in the top of the second. All tied up here at 1. And the pitch, and that's going to be low and away for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Ortega with 26 pitches, 11 balls, 15 strikes. The bottom of the first, McGregor threw 28 pitches. And the pitch, and that's going to be a hard hit single out to left field. And they're going to try to get him at third. But safe at third, and into second is Ethan Drews. So we'll give him a single out to left. Then on to third. Then Drews takes second on the throw. So runners at second and third with no outs. Up is shortstop Wynn Drews. Ortega with the pitch. And that must have just missed outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. To the shortstop, Wynn Drews, and that's going to be a hit. That's a line drive, going to be a double play as Linker takes it to second for the out, but it was a line drive So nice job out there by Isaac Linker. Up at the plate now is Patrick Chavez batting ninth, the second baseman. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to right field and right to Alex Ortega. So in the top of the second inning, no runs on 2 hits, 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of the second, all tied up at 1 here on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, all tied up here at 1 here as we go to the bottom of the second. 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Mustangs. Connor Fajardo, Austin Apple, and Nick Beltran. Nate McGregor on the hill for Skyline. And the pitch, and that's going to be a bunt down the third base line. Scooped and out at first. Nice play over there by the third baseman, Will Drews. Could not get down there fast enough, but nice job there by Will Drews to get over to Shapiro at first for the first out here of the bottom of the second. Austin Apple up at the plate now for the Mustangs. McGregor's pitch, and that is going to be outside for ball 1. So Apple on the year is batting at .240. He has 12 hits, and that pitch catches the outside part of the plate at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. McGregor with the pitch, and that's going to be way outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. McGregor looks in for the sign and the delivery, and that slow curve is going to be fouled out of play. So that evens the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Northeastern, when it comes to your future, Northeastern is miles ahead, and they're a college that's close to home. And the pitch, and that's in the dirt. Full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes to the 8th place batter, Austin Apple. And the pitch, and that is going to be nubbed foul down the third baseline. So 1-1 here, bottom of the second. 3-2 count to Apple. And the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss for the strikeout. That ball looked like it was low and away. So the lefty in the lineup, Nick Beltran, comes to the plate. Beltran on the year is batting at .368 with 7 hits. Breeze blowing from right to left, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. I don't think anybody's going to hit one out to left over the fence today unless it's a more of a line drive type of hit. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled back. So quickly behind in the count is Beltran. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, 2 up, 2 down. See if Beltran can get something started here with Hamer coming up. As McGregor steps off and Beltran steps out. Now Beltran back in at the plate. McGregor with a delivery, and that's going to be hit foul down the third baseline. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. To Nick Beltran. McGregor with the delivery, and that's going to be hit out to the shortstop. That goes right between the legs of the shortstop, so Beltran will get on with the error. So error on the safe at first on the error, so this will bring up J.P. Hamer. He saw one pitch in that first inning, and it went over the left field fence. That is the Mustangs' lone score of the game so far. Beltran over at first. And that curved ball comes in there for a strike. No balls and one strike. To Hamer. Now leads he did lead the league anyway, but now with 5 home runs. And that pitch is low and in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hamer checks head coach Josh Langford down at third base for his sign. Nick Beltran with not a big lead over at first. And the pitch, that's going to be up and away, and they're going to throw back. And in safely is Beltran. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Here to Hamer. He'll be followed by Ortega and then Linker if we get that far. And that is going to be up for 3 balls and 1 strike. So let's see if they come into Hamer, knowing what he did to him in the first inning and knowing what he's capable of doing. Checks Beltran over at first, and the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out of play off to the left. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Beltran will be taken off with the pitch. As McGregor comes set. Checks his runner over at first. They're going to go over to just a lob throw over to first. And they're just trying to figure out what they want to throw to Hamer. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1-1 here in the bottom of the second here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Skyline in Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit foul down the left field line. So we'll do it all over again. As McGregor will get his sign from Elwood. These 2 teams will play once again on Saturday at Skyline. So Beltran will get his lead, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. No. What they call must have been a foul ball. Okay. Just got the end of it. Just got the tip of the ball, or got the ball just on the tip of the bat. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Hamer bats in from the right side. McGregor checks Beltran over at first. Nobody over there. So McGregor with a pitch, and that is going to be low for ball 4. So a nice pitch. Nice at bat for Hamer. 48 total pitches now for the Skyline pitcher, Jacob Ortega, at the plate. He grounded out his first time up, 0 for 1. So now runners at first and second. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit hard out to left field, and that is fair. So that should bring in 2. That will bring in Beltran, and that will score Hamer. So a nice job by Jacob Ortega to get that double. Down the third base line. So he has got him a couple of RBIs there. We're going to have a pinch runner for Ortega, and that looks like that will be Baker. So courtesy runner is Jared Baker. So Isaac Linker up at the plate. Linker, his first time up, had a single up the middle out to right field. And that ball is going to be hit out to the center fielder, and it's going to be off of his hand. But Baker was going to score anyway, so we'll give a single to Isaac Linker and the RBI. 4-1 now, Fort Morgan. So Fort Morgan with 4 runs and 4 hits, 1 error and 2 left so far. Skyline at 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error and 2 left. So up at the plate now is Alex Ortega. And Ortega with that slow curve takes it for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. So Linker gets his lead over at first. McGregor checks him. And the pitch, and that's low and in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the right fielder today for the Mustangs, Alex Ortega. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. But the Mustangs have put 3 on the board so far, and that pitch is going to be up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Buildings by Design. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. So McGregor with a pitch, and that's going to be low and away. 4 ball, 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Linker on at first. McGregor has given up 23 walks so far this year in 32 innings. And Linker's going to take off, and that will be ball 4. So now 2 on for Javier Becerra. He walked his first time up. So a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Javier stands in from the right side, close stance, and that's going to be hit to center, out to left field, and they're going to send Linker as it's bobbled out in left. So Javi with the RBI. As we now have a 5-1 game here, Mustangs have played at 4. Out at second is Alex Ortega. Nick Norris up to the bat. He is 0 for 1 on a ground out his first time up. And that pitch is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. As McGregor sits at 57 pitches here just in the bottom of the second. So they'll be changing pitchers out in the next couple of innings. Nice stop there behind the plate there by Elwood. So that ball is in the dirt, so McGregor having a tough time. He's either way high or way low. As Nick Norris bats in from the right side, and the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Norris. It's now 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 on. And 4 in here in the bottom of the second, and that pitch is going to be on the outside part of the plate for a strike. So McGregor comes back to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Nick Norris, and that ball is going to be hit foul, I believe. That will go out of play down the left field line. So the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Connor Fajardo on deck. If Nick Norris can reach. Big lead out at second base by Ortega, and that curveball is going to be in there for strike 3. So here in the bottom of the second, the Mustangs get 4 runs on 3 hits with 1 error committed and 2 left on. So we'll go to the top of the third. The Mustangs lead at 5-1 on B106 and B106.com. 5-1 as we go here to the top of the third inning. Leading off for Skyline will be Graydon Bridwell, followed by Braden Elwood and Juan Shapiro. Bridwell, his first time up, went to left field for a single. Jacob Ortega with 30 pitches here, and that pitch is in there for a strike. Nice breaking ball there by Jacob. No balls and 1 strike. Mustangs plated 4 there in the bottom of the second. 5-1. And he went, tried to hold up, but did go around. No balls, 2 strikes. Now to Bridwell, center fielder today. And Jacob with the pitch. That fastball is in there. Called strike 3. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the third. Up now will be Braden Elwood. He flied out to short right field. His first appearance. So Ortega with the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. I think it was actually fouled right at the plate, but still a strike. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Ortega with the pitch, and that catches the inside part of the plate. So Jacobs getting in a little bit of a rhythm now. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. And that must have been just outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That fastball just misses outside. As Jacob gets the sign from Fajardo. And the pitch. And that is going to be a ball hit between short and third for a single. So now that will bring up Juan Shapiro, the first baseman. He bats in from the left side, so time for a double play here for the Mustangs. As Elwood gets his lead over at first, and the pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled out of play behind the screen. So no balls and 1 strike to Shapiro. He singled his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. Elwood gets his lead over at first. Jacob checks him now. He's going to throw over. That was close. But back in safely was Elwood. I didn't know if Jacob was going to go or not. He checked first, then threw it over. So Jacob with the pitch, and that's going to be low and in the dirt, and taking off and in safely will be Elwood. So stolen base for Elwood. Elwood on the year did have 3 stolen bases. Bridwell, that pitch is going to be in the dirt and is going to get by Fajardo to the fence. So that will be a wild pitch. For Jacob Ortega. So 2 balls and 1 strike, and that is going to be fouled out of play. So that evens the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 1 out. But Skyline threatens with a runner at third base with Braden Elwood. So Ortega with the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to Linker, to Norris. And they do get the out at first, but scoring will be Elwood. So ground out. Three to 1. So now 5-2 here with 2 outs. Up now is Will Drews. And that pitch just missed for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch. And that is going to be fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. And that is going to be fouled at the plate once again. So ahead in the count is Ortega. 1 ball and 2 strikes, but with 2 outs. Bases are clear. 5-2 Fort Morgan as we play in the top of the third, and that pitch is way outside and in the dirt. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes as that wind has shifted a little bit, coming a little bit more towards home plate, more out of the east than south. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be a sky high. Apple's looking for it, and Apple is going to get it as Becerra comes in under him. But Becerra does get the out here, but the Skyline Falcons do score. They get one run on one hit. Nobody left as we go to the bottom of the third. The Mustangs lead at 5-2 on B106 and B106.com. 5-2 here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan between the Mustangs and Skyline Falcons. The Mustangs lead it. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, Connor Fajardo leads it. Austin Apple on deck. Nick Beltran in the hole. Fajardo tried to bunny his way on, but was unsuccessful, so he is 0 for 1 here as he comes up for his second plate appearance, and that pitch is going to catch the outside part of the plate for a strike. No balls, one strike to the catcher, Connor Fajardo. Nate McGregor still on the hill, and that ball is going to be fouled out of play down the right field line. So quickly ahead is McGregor. No balls and 2 strikes as he looks into Elwood for his sign. And the pitch, and that's going to be low and in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So the 7, 8, and 9 hitters up for the Mustangs. As McGregor likes what he sees and comes in, and it's going to be fouled off to the right. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. See if the Mustangs can tally some more runs here in the bottom of the third. They put 4 on in the bottom of the second, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Apparently it was a foul ball. Let's see. No, it was a swing and a miss, I guess. They thought it was a drop third strike, but apparently not. So now up is Austin Apple, and that fastball catches the outside part of the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Apple. He is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time. And that is going to be hit foul. Hard hit ball, but went foul down the third baseline. So behind in the count is Apple. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. And that is a strike 3. So caught looking was Austin Apple. So 2 up and 2 down quickly here in the bottom of the third. Nick Beltran up at the plate. He reached his first time up on an error. As he steps in from the left side. And the pitch. And that's going to be right back up the middle. Out to the shortstop and over to first for the out. So for the Mustangs, 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the top of the 4th inning. Mustangs lead at 5-2 on B106 and B106.com. 5-2 here at Legion Field as Jacob Ortega finishes up his last of the warm-up pitches. Coming up for Skyline will be Nate McGregor, the pitcher. This is the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, followed by Lucas Scott, then Ethan Drews. McGregor flied out his first time out to center field. Jacob Ortega at 47 pitches. And now 48, and that will be up and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. As Jacob gets his sign from Fajardo. And the pitch. And that ball is going to be hit out to left field. And that will be way foul. But nice job out there by Javier Becerra to try to run that down, but I believe it even went foul over the fence. So good distance by McGregor, but that wind, I'm sure, pushed that well foul. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to center field, right to J.P. Hamer, and he puts it out puts the squeeze on it for the out. So 1 up, 1 down. Here in the top of the 4th, up now is Lucas Scott, the designated hitter. That's in from the left side. Jacob with the pitch. That's off the end of the bat out to left field. And that will drop in for a single out to left field. So Ethan Drews will be up next. He is 1 for 1. He had a single his first time up. Right fielder for Skyline. Looks like we have a courtesy runner over at first. I believe that is Isaac Medina, who is now running over at first for Lucas Scott. And they check him in. They're going to come home. And that ball, that's a wild pitch, as that's going to send Medina out to second base. So a couple of wild pitches anyway, maybe 3 wild pitches so far for Jacob today. As we play here in the top of the 4th inning with 1 out. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch, and that's going to be nubbed down to the first base line. Norris is going to go after it, and he will get the runner at first. And that will be out number 2 on the ground out. So the runner now at third. And that will bring us to Wynn Drews. He has had a line drive to Isaac Linker. So he is 0 for 1. As Nick Norris takes a little time out at first base to get his shoe tied. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Fill up your cooler and gas up your car at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Easy and convenient. Make them the only stop you need on your way to the big game. So Jacob with the delivery, and that is in there for a strike. That breaking ball catches the plate, gets ahead in the count. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit down the first base line, but that's going to go foul. Good idea there by Drews, but it did go foul. So quickly behind in the count is Drews. No balls, 2 strikes. Let's see if Jacob can put him away here with no damage done. 0-2, and that ball is going to be skied out to right field. Should be good for Ortega, and he does squeeze it on the pop-up out to right field. So in the top of the 4th inning, no runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. The Mustangs lead at 5-2 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. 5-2 as we play here in the bottom of the 4th. J.P. Hamer will lead it off, followed by Jacob Ortega and then Isaac Linker. Hamer got the scoring started for the Mustangs in the bottom of the 1st with a home run to left field. And then he walked his second time up. McGregor still on the mound at 71 pitches, and the pitch, and that is going to be fouled off to the right and out of play. So no balls, 1 strike. To Hamer. And the pitch. And that's going to be low and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. These 2 teams will play again on Saturday at 11 o'clock at Skyline. McGregor with the pitch, and that's going to catch the inside part of the plate. So ahead in the count now McGregor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yes, he gets his sign from Elwood. And the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by by Hamer. So Jacob Ortega up at the plate. He is 1 for 2. Ground out and a double. Also a couple of RBIs for Ortega, helping his own cause. And the pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt. 4-1, 1 ball, no strikes, excuse me. Ortega bats in from the right side. Stiff breeze still blowing from right to left. And that breaking ball did not break, it just stayed high. So ahead in the count is Ortega, 2 balls, no strikes. On deck is Isaac Linker. McGregor with the pitch, and that's going to be low and away. Ball 3. So able to find the strike zone with Hamer, but not so much here with Ortega here in the 4th. And that curveball is going to be in there for the called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Jacob Ortega. And the pitch, and that is going to be upstairs for the walk. Ball 4. So we have 1 out, and Ortega on at first. Linker is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Now we'll have a pitch runner, courtesy runner, and that will be Jared Baker. I believe he did that for him before. So now Jared Baker on at first for Jacob Ortega. As Isaac Linker stands in from the right. And the pitch, and that's low and in the dirt, but did not get past the catcher, Braden Elwood. So Baker stays at first. Should be 1 ball and no strikes. They have not cleared off the 2 balls and no strikes. They did not clear off the scoreboard when after the walk. There we go. Now 2 balls and no strikes. McGregor checks the runner and the pitch, and that catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. As head coach Josh Langford goes through his signs. Linker back in at the plate. McGregor checks his runner at first and comes home, and that's going to be way out and away. They're going to throw back to first, but Baker in safely. So Linker ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. As we played with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, the Mustangs lead at 5-2. 1 in the first on a J.P. Hamer home run, and then 4 in the bottom of the 2nd. And Linker, and that pitch is going to be ball 4. As Baker had taken off. So no balls, or excuse me, that was ball 4. So 2 on with Alex Ortega. Now we're going to have a mound visit. And as the coach goes out there, he put his hand up to the first baseman and the third baseman like this is going to be a private conversation here between me and the pitcher. And that's just who is out there. Head coach for Skyline is Travis Schlegel. As Alex Ortega steps up to the plate, he is 0 for 1. He struck out and a walk. But he's got one out there in scoring position in Jared Baker. And that's a swing and a miss by Alex Ortega. Just the base hits, all they really need here. They don't need to kill the ball. Just put the ball in play and see what happens. And that ball is going to be outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex struck out his first time up and then walked in plate appearance number 2. Runners get their leads and the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out of play. So McGregor ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. McGregor at 88 pitches so far, 51 strikes, 37 balls. Alex awaits the pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt. Nice stop there by Elwood. Evens the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. As we play with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. McGregor checks his runners, comes home. That ball is going to be put in play out to left field. And Connor Scott comes down with it, so the runners will retreat back to their respective bases. So now 2 down as Javier Bequetter will bat the left fielder. He is 1 for 1. He walked his first time, then hit a single his last time up. So 2 outs here with runners on at first and second. Oh, right back up the middle, out to center field, out to short center. And they're going to hold everybody up as they get the ball in. Center fielder was playing a short center field. That was a hard hit ball. So now the bases are loaded now for Nick Norris. So all we need is a base hit, get a couple in. Yes, Nick Norris looks to swing away. He is 0 for 2, a ground out and striking out his last time up. And that pitch is going to be low for ball 1. So the Mustangs with an opportunity here to put some more on the board here. Connor Fajardo on deck. And the pitch, and that is low and in the dirt. Another nice stop by Elwood. As he keeps everybody at their bases. Jared Baker at third, Isaac Linker at second, and Javier Bequetter at first. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So ahead in the count is Norris. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. With the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out of play down the right field line. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Nate McGregor comes back to even up the count. Doesn't like that pitch call. Now he likes what he sees. Comes to the set and the pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3. So in the inning, no runs on 1 hit, 3 left. So we'll go to the top of the 5th. The Mustangs lead at 5-2 here on B106 and B106.com. 5-2 Mustangs as we get ready to start the top of the 5th inning. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters for Skyline: Patrick Chavez, Graydon Bridwell, and Braden Elwood. For Skyline, Patrick Chavez is 0 for 1. Flied out to Alex Ortega in his first appearance. Jacob Ortega at 56 pitches, 37 strikes, 19 balls. And the pitch, and that must have just missed outside. For ball 1. And the pitch from Ortega, and that is going to be flied down the first base line. Hustling out for it is Alex Ortega, but it does go out of play. But nice hustle job there by Nick Norris and Alex Ortega as they try to run down that foul ball. But it did go out of play. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Patrick Chavez, and the pitch, and that is up and in. Chavez had to turn a little bit so that ball wouldn't hit him.
Come on, Jacob!
Jacob falls behind in the count. 2 balls, 1 strike to the 9th place batter, and the pitch, and that is in there for a strike. That fastball at the knees on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes as the ball gets away down the left field line. So Jacob Ortega gets his sign and the kick and the delivery, and that is going to be low and in the dirt. It's now a full count on Chavez. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. And that looked like a good. Hell, they said he went around for the strike. They checked down at first base. So he did go far enough for the strikeout. So 1 up, 1 down. That will bring up Graydon Bridwell. A single and a strikeout. As he bats in from the right side, his single was out to left field. And the pitch, and that is low and in the dirt, ball 1. Western Engineering Consultants, engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Strong commitment to their clients' needs set them apart. And that ball is going to be hit out to center field, out to Hamer, and he puts it away out there in center field. So 2 up, 2 down. Here in the top of the 5th, Braden Elwood. 1 for 2, his single out to left field also. 5-2, Jacob Ortega on the mound, and that is going to be a called strike as he went around. So Jacob with that breaking ball got it in over there. That fastball misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 down here in the 5th. And the pitch, and that is a nice strike there on the outside part of the plate, belt high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. See if he can put him away here with 1 more pitch, and the pitch. And did he not go around? Nope, they checked down at the first base umpire, and he said he did not go. So now that evens the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 out. As time is called. They were just making sure it wasn't right up on the scoreboard, and the umpire was just making sure that everybody knew what the count was. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And Ortega with the pitch, and that is going to be hit, just past. See if they're going to try to get him from the right field, but just past Beltran as he dove for the ball out there. As it got by him out to Alex Ortega. Thought maybe they might have a play on him. It was just hit too soft to try to get Ortega to try to get back to Norris at first. But Juan Shapiro up. He is 1 for 2. He singled his first time up, grounded out his last time up. And that ball is going to be outside. 1 ball and no strikes to the number 3 batter. Here in the top of the 5th. Jacob checks. He's going to step off. He checked Elwood for a minute and then stepped off. Back on the rubber now and gets his sign. And the pitch. And that's going to be hit for a single out to left field. As Becerra gets the ball back in. So that will keep the runner at second. No advancement any further than that. 2 out here, but a runner on now at second. And a runner on at first. And that brings up Will Drews, the third baseman. He is 0 for 2. A fly out and a strikeout. And that first pitch misses up and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. As Jacob looks back at second. And the pitch. And that's going to be another wild pitch. As that will advance the runners. So now Braden Elwood at third and Juan Shapiro now at second. So So 2 balls and no strikes. Now Coach Langford is going to take a little stroll out to the mound, have a little chat with Jacob Ortega. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, Greg Mullen and his team are there to make the insurance world easy for you. Call them at 842-4555. So the whole infield is in out at the pitcher's mound with a little pep talk out there as everybody goes back to their respective positions. Coach Langford heads back to the dugout. So 2 balls, no strikes to the cleanup hitter, Will Drews. Drews is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, and that's going to be a hard hit ball right out to the right fielder. Nice catch out there by Alex Ortega for the 3rd out here in the top of the 5th. So no runs on 2 hits, 2 left as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Mustangs lead at 5-2 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, there is a pitching change. Lucas Scott now on the hill, and it looks like Nate McGregor has gone out to left field. We'll see if that's all the changes or not. Before the Mustangs leading off here will be Connor Fajardo, followed by Austin Apple and Nick Beltran, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Mustangs. So 5-2. So Nate McGregor with 96 total pitches. And that ball misses up and away. For ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes to Fajardo. And the pitch, and that breaking ball stayed high for ball 2. That was up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. As Lucas Scott pitches for Skyline. And that pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Looking to see if they had any totals on Scott. They do not show that he has even pitched yet. And that pitch is going to be skied to short right field. And down with it is the first baseman, Juan Shapiro, on that pop-up. So 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Austin Apple up at the plate. He is 0 for 2. A strikeout looking and a strikeout swinging. So he'll be followed by Nick Beltran, the second baseman today for the Mustangs. And the pitch. No, that's right back up the middle. Good thing that Scott ducked. He had his head taken off. That was a hard hit single. Right back up the middle as Nick Beltran bats in from the left side. Beltran is 0 for 2, reached on an error and grounded out. So I don't know if they're going to try to play some small ball. We'll see if Beltran will be bunting or if he's going to be hitting away, and he will be attempting to bunt. That ball goes to the backstop for strike 1. Everybody was on the move on that one. Apple was on the move from first, and all the first and third basemen were coming in to try to play the ball. And swinging away, and that's going to be hit foul over out of the left side. So quickly ahead is Lucas Scott. No balls and 2 strikes. So Beltran needs to try and get Apple advanced with only 1 out here. And Apple takes off, and that is going to be hit foul down the third baseline. as Apple was taken off. So the hit and run on there, but could not put it in play. No balls, 2 strikes, 5-2 Mustangs here in the bottom of the 5th. J.P. Hamer on deck. And the pitch. And that ball is going to be popped up. And let's see who's going to call for it. That will be the shortstop on that pop-up. So the runner stays at first. That will bring up Hamer. He is 1 for 2, a home run, a walk, and a swinging strikeout his last time up. So 2 outs here. As we play, and that ball is going to get by, so that will be we'll give Apple a stolen base. So that gets him down to second. The ball also did get by Elwood, but we're going to give Austin Apple a stolen base. 1 ball and no strikes to J.P. Hamer. Wind still blowing right to left in now somewhat. And that ball is hit hard down the left field line, but that ball will be well foul. So 1 ball, 1 strike. To Hamer. On deck is the pitcher, Jacob Ortega. 1-1 the count. Apple gets his lead and the pitch, and that ball is inside for 2 balls now and 1 strike. As Apple gets his lead out at second. Hamer behind in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. And that ball is going to be popped up. More out to left center field, and that ball is going to be caught by the left fielder. Wasn't sure where it had gone there for sure, but that ball was hit a lot farther than I thought it was going to be, but out in left field. Caught by the left fielder. So that will do it here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as we have no runs on 1 hit, 1 left, as we go to the bottom or the top of the 6th here on B106 and B106.com. 5-2 here in the top of the 6th. That pitch is going to be up and away from Jacob Ortega for ball 1. To Nate McGregor, now the left fielder. And the pitch by Ortega, and that ball is going to be hit out to left field, and that will just be foul. A long strike there for Nate McGregor. That evens the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Willow Coffee and Bake Shop. Get a delicious treat, breakfast or lunch option to make the day better. 921 Edison Street in Brush today. And that pitch is going to be fouled off to the left. Ortega gets ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He is now at 77 pitches. So if he doesn't get into trouble here, should be able to finish it out. And that is going to be, gets by Fajardo back to the fence. But just counts as a ball. No wild pitch or anything. Nobody on base. As Nate McGregor bats in from the right side, he is 0 for 2 on 2 flyouts. And that is going to be a foul ball. Fouled it off of, he fouled that off the umpire, I believe, as Fajardo was going to step out and talk to Jacob for a minute. But I'm not sure, it hit off the umpire someplace, but says he's okay. Count remains. I have 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Nate McGregor. And the pitch by Ortega, and that Did he go? No. He checked down at first base, and he said he did not. He did not go. So now it's 2-2. I had an extra ball count in there. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Mustangs lead at 5-2 here in Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that is going to be outside and low for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As Fajardo keeps that ball in front of him. Full count here now on McGregor. And the pitch, and that is going to be hit out to the third baseman, and it gets by. I think he was going to be safe anyway. Not a good throw by Apple as he cut in front of Linker. But we'll give Apple, well, not Apple, we will give McGregor a hit, or I will anyway. Yes, that leads it off here in the top of the 6th inning. So Nate McGregor on at first. Lucas Scott bats in from the left side. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Not sure this is Lucas Scott. It says number 15. I do not have a number 15 on my sheet here. We'll just go with Lucas Scott, and that pitch is going to be low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. From Jacob Ortega as he checks his runner over at first, and that ball is going to be hit out to Hamer as he backs up, drifts back, and that is going to be put away out there in center field. And holding up at first is Nate McGregor. And now up at the plate is Ethan Drews. He is 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. As he looks down at his head coach Schlegel, gets his instructions and steps into the batter's box. Ortega checks his runner over at first. Now they're going to go over, and back in standing up is Nate McGregor. Checks his runner again, now comes home, and that's going to be a swing and a miss on that strike. As Jacob gets ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Looks in and gets his sign from Fajardo, checks his runner over at first. And looks in, and the pitch, and taking off, and down to second, and sliding in safely is Nate McGregor. As he gets the stolen base. It was an excellent throw by Connor Fajardo. McGregor had 2 stolen bases on the year, now has 3. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And that is in there for strike number 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. McGregor on at second after the stolen base. Jacob checks him out there, and the delivery. And that ball is going to be popped up, looks like to Norris as he drifts into foul territory and does come down with it in foul territory, but the runner does not advance. As he stays at second. So now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. And Wynn Drews, and that's going to be hit to left field, out to Alex Ortega, and it bobbles off of him, and they're going to send him home. Throw is going to come home. It's going to be cut off. Now they're going to throw out to second base, and out at second. Nice job there by the Mustangs, but they do plate the score. So that will be 5-3 now as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mustangs lead at 5-3 on B106 and B106.com. So back here at Legion Field, 5-3. I don't know if I explained myself well on that last out there in the bottom of the, or in the top of the 6th. As they did get the single, then the runner came around and the ball was cut off. The batter tried to make it into second base, and it was tagged out it was tagged out by Isaac Linker. And that slow curveball is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. As Lucas Scott on the hill once again, and that pitch is going to be sky high. It's going to be short right field. And let's see who's going to. Oh, he drops. That's an error. Way to run it out there, Jacob Ortega, but that will be an error. As he hits that just a short. I'm not sure who hit that. It might have been the second baseman.
Good job, Jacob.
So Jacob on at first. Isaac Linker steps up to the plate. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. So a runner on here for Fort Morgan via the error. And that pitch is going to be up and in for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Lucas Scott came in for Nate McGregor in the 5th inning. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be low and away for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes here to Isaac Linker. Jacob Ortega on at first. And the pitch, and that's going to be up and away for ball 3. So right now Scott not able to locate his pitch. As Jacob Ortega gets somewhat of a lead out there. He has 4 stolen bases on the year. And the pitch, and that's going to be way outside for the 4-pitch walk. So now 2 on here. See if the Mustangs can do a little more damage here as Alex Ortega up to the plate for the Mustangs. He is 0 for 2. Struck out, a strikeout, a walk, and then a fly out. His fly out went to left field. So runners on at first and second. Ortega at the plate and the pitch and tried to bunt it, and that's going to be an out. They got to get back, and back safely is Ortega. Boy, that was close. He had taken off. But trying to get the nice catch, nice job there by the catcher to run that down on that bunt attempt. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner still at first and second. Ortega out at second. Linker at first. And the pitch. And that ball is going to be just inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. We'll see if the Javier has been a pretty good contact hitter at one time. Did lead the league in batting. And that ball is going to be fouled off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Javier was batting at .423 with 11 hits and 6 RBIs to start out the day. So 1 ball, 1 strike in the pitch. And that ball is going to be fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As they just need to get it in play. Nice. We'll see if the shortstop goes back over. He's trying to keep Jacob Ortega close out at second. But there's a big gap between third and short. If he could get it in between there. And that ball is going to be fouled out of play once again. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we're an hour and 38 minutes into this game here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, with the Mustangs leading at 5-3 against the Skyline Falcons. And the pitch. And that is going to be strike 3 on that curveball. That was a nice pitch there by Lucas Scott. As Javier was caught looking, now Nick Norris up at the plate. He had a chance earlier with the bases loaded and did strike out. He is 0 for 3. So now 2 outs with runners on at first and second. Ortega at second, Linker on at first. And that's a hard hit ball right back up the middle. And they'll send Jacob home. Jacob will score. So nice job there by Nick Norris with the RBI as he gets his single. As Linker now at so now runners at first and second. Nick Norris. Looks like Nick Castaneda will be batting. For Connor Fajardo. So now 6-3 Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that is in the dirt. Nice job there by Elwood to keep that ball in front of him. Castaneda gets ahead in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. Looks back at the runner and the pitch. Now it's going to be outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Austin Apple up at on deck. If Castaneda can reach. And that pitch catches the outside part of the plate. 4 strike 1, 2 balls, 1 strike. AC Ice, crystal clear ice, good for any drink and any time of the year. And the pitch. And that's going to be up and away as we're going to fake the throw down to first, but nobody covering. So Castaneda ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Linker on at second, and that is going to be a swing and a miss for strikes 2. So a full count here with 2 outs. So the runners will be taken off here on the pitch. And fake throw back to second. Linker gets back with no throw. Nick Norris on it first after his single. And that ball is going to be hit out to left field. Oh, misjudged by the left fielder. I'm not sure that ball if he didn't get that in his eyes. The sun wasn't in his eyes. He misjudged that ball. But he was looking right into the sun. So we'll go ahead and get a double. For Nick Castaneda. I'm not sure if that left fielder just missed. He came in on it, and it looks like he might have just missed it, but that brings the score now to 8-3. And now batting for Austin Apple will be Sam Christensen. So now 8-3. Fort Morgan 8 on 9 hits, 1 error, and 8 left. Lucas Scott with the pitch. That breaking ball drops in there for the strike. 1 ball, or no balls and 1 strike. So the Mustangs have plated 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. With Nick Castaneda out at second. And the pitch, and that's a hard hit ball, and that will get through to the left fielder. And they're going to wave Castaneda home, and that pitch is going to be over the head, and in safely is Castaneda. So a single by Sammy Christensen. As Christensen will take second on the throw. So now 9-3. And now Austin Apple will be a runner. And the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. As Austin Apple has gone back out and is the courtesy runner out at second. So 2 outs here, 9-3, and that ball is going to be popped up out to left field, and squeezes it out. There is Nate McGregor on the pop-up. But damage was done here by the Mustangs as they score 3 on 4 hits with 1 error and 1 left. We'll go to the top of the 7th with the Mustangs leading at 9-3 on B106 and B106.com. 9-3 Fort Morgan as we play in the top of the 7th inning. Up at the plate will be Patrick Chavez, the second baseman. He is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. Ortega still on the mound, and that ball is going to be outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Ortega sits at 89 total pitches. 34 balls, 55 strikes. 1 ball, no strikes, and that must be in just a little bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes. To the number 9 hitter, Patrick Chavez, and that pitch gets in there for a strike. Nice job there on that fastball. Knee high over the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. That's going to be low and away. Ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Chavez 0 for 2. A fly out and a strikeout. Jacob looking for the complete game, and that's going to be hit out to Beltran for his first option of the day. And nice job by Beltran as he gets the ball over to Nick Norris at first. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the 7th. An hour and 47 minutes into the game. Graydon Bridwell up at the plate. He is 1 for 3. And the pitch. And that's low and in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. These teams will play again on Saturday at 11 o'clock at Skyline, and that pitch in there for a strike. Evens the count at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. 1 up, 1 down. And that ball is going to be fouled out of play to the left. So Ortega gets ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 1 out to Graydon Bridwell. Jacob with a delivery, and that is going to be hit out to left field, and that will drop in front of Javier Becerra for a single. So 1 on now for Braden Elwood. He is 2 for 3, a fly out and 2 singles. Now with a runner on at first, Graydon Bridwell. Bridwell does have a number of stolen bases this year. Does have 12 stolen bases at the start of the game. Jacob steps off. Bridwell goes back. Now gets his lead once again. And the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 1 from Jacob Ortega. Given up 11 hits today so far, but only 3 runs. And the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mustangs have 10 hits, 1 error. Skyline with 11 hits, 2 errors. And the throw over and back in safely is Bridwell, as the count stands at 1-1 to the number 2 batter, Braden Elwood. Jacob checks his runner over at first, and they're going to go over once again, but back in safely is Bridwell standing up. And over once again. And still safe over at first as Nick Norris tried to do the little hidden ball routine, but did not work. So Ortega with the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we play here in the top of the 7th inning, the Mustangs up 6, 9-3. With 1 on here and the pitch, and that's going to be outside and low for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. with one out and one on. Graydon Bridwell at first. Ortega checks his runner and comes home, and that's going to be flied out to Alex Ortega out in right. And Ortega comes down with it for out number 2. So now up at the plate is Juan Shapiro. 2 for 3, a single, a ground out, and then another single. He is singled to both left and right field today. And the pitch, and that's way outside. Nice job there by Conifer Jardo to get out there and get that ball, or Bridwell would have been at second. So Jacob now sits at 103 pitches. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit to Norris. Gets under his gloves. That goes out to right field. And they're going to try to get, bad bounce now as that ball gets over the head of the third baseman. But that was a bad hop out there. But Nick Norris, as it gets under his glove, and then Bridwell comes around to score. We'll give that error out to Alex Ortega. So now 9-4. We'll see if Jacob is going to come out. He is at 104 total pitches. Looks like maybe, let's see what's going to happen here. Looks like Salcido is going to come in. We're going to take a 1-minute break and then be back with the rest of the 7th inning here with the Mustangs up 9-4 now on B106 and B106.com. So back here in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, some defensive changes. Mateo Salcido comes in to pitch. Jacob Ortega goes to short, and Isaac Linker will play second now, and Nick Beltran comes out of the game. So Mateo Salcido with the first pitch. That is in there for a strike. Jacob Ortega did not give up any walks today. Did give up 11 hits, or I do have him for 12 hits. Mateo gets ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike, and that hits the batter. So that will now put 2 on for Nate McGregor. McGregor is 1 for 3, a fly out, 2 flyouts, and a single. So Mateo came in on that pitch and got the shoulder of Will Drews. 9-4 Fort Morgan, and that ball is going to be popped up. And who's going to call for it? It looks like it's going to be Nick Norris, and he comes down with it for the 3rd out here in the top of the 7th inning. So that will bring this contest to an end. The Mustangs win at 9-4. We'll be back with the postgame show here on B106 and B106.com. The Fort Morgan Mustangs postgame show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Morgan Community College is there to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Skyline Falcons today by a score of 9-4. I have the line is 9 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors, and 9 left for the Mustangs. 4 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left for the Skyline Falcons. Time of the game was 1 hour and 55 minutes. The Skyline Falcons get on the board first as Grayson Bridwell gets a single, then advances on an error, and then he scores on an error from Alex Ortega. And that puts the Skyline Falcons up 1-0 in the first inning. But in the bottom of the first, J.P. Hamer comes up to the plate, and his first pitch that he sees, he drives it for a home run out over the left field fence. And then the Mustangs in the second inning, plate 4, as Beltran reaches on an error. And then the Mustangs, Jacob Ortega hits a line drive, gets a double. Beltran scores along with Hamer. That makes it 3-1. Then Isaac Linker comes up, gets a line drive for a single, and Jared Baker with a courtesy runner, he scores, makes it 4-1. Then Skyline adds a run in the top of the third, makes it 5-2. And then the Falcons do score one in the top of the sixth. And then in the sixth inning, the Mustangs plate 4. And that would make the score then 9-3. But the Mustangs do plate 4 in the sixth inning, and Alex Ortega does drive one in there. But the Skyline Falcons do score a run in the top of the seventh, and that brings the final score to 9-4 for the Mustangs. Nice job by Jacob Ortega, the winning pitcher here today for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Today, the Fort Morgan Mustang Player of the Game is brought to you by Transwest. Transwest believes that customers are number one. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today. And only in for one appearance today. I think we're going to go ahead with the had a pinch hitter today for Sam Christensen. He was 1 for 1 with an RBI. So we're going to go with Sam Christensen as our player of the game here for Fort Morgan, as the Mustangs win it 9-4. Bang-up job today by our sound engineer, Harry Curtis. This is Brian Nickel. Once again, the final score here at Legion Field. The Mustangs win it 9-4 on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.